Well, I expect Draghi to be downbeat. I think he learned from his speech a couple of weeks ago in Portugal that he's got to tone it down because the market will get a little bit too excited.
Hello, Jim. Thank you for joining Dukascopy TV today. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. And today we're going to have a look at the Jackson Hole event, which will be taking place from Thursday to Saturday. How important is this event in the economic calendar?
Well, I think it's important from the standpoint that we are into the second half of the year and that there is activity at the ECB and at the Fed. And I think it's a good kind of end of the summer wrap up for investors to kind of get a feel for how to play this last quarter of the year.
And so moving on, Janet Yellen, Mario Draghi will both be giving speeches. What do you expect to hear from these two? Are you expecting quite an upbeat tone?
Well, I expect Draghi to be downbeat. I think he learned from his speech a couple of weeks ago in Portugal that he's got to tone it down because the market will get a little bit too excited. So if you start to see like the euro edge up to the 119, 120 area while he's speaking, I think he's going to try to talk that currency down. I don't think the ECB wants the currency higher, so he's not going to say anything that's too bullish. So I expect him to stick to the guidelines that his PR people have put out, and he's just going to talk about the Eurozone's role in the global recovery, but he's going to not mention anything specific about growth in the Euro region or tapering of the stimulus or anything like that. I think he's learned his lesson. They want that currency lower, and they'll do whatever they can to minimize any comments that he has.
And Yellen, what would you expect to hear from her?
Well, I expect Yellen to stay the course, mentioning concerns over inflation. I think she's going to, if she does talk about monetary policy, she's going to focus on the Fed's plan to begin trimming its balance sheet. I think that's what the market's more interested in. They have until December to decide the next interest rate hike. September is pretty much a done deal. They're not going to raise rates. And I think right now, if she's going to put any emphasis on any major project, that's going to be the beginning of the trimming of the $4.5 trillion balance sheet. And she's probably going to announce that it's going to begin right at the end of the September meeting. So that's what should have an impact on the market. I don't expect her to all of a sudden say anything that wasn't in the minutes or to contradict any of the other Fed speakers that have been downplaying a rate hike later this year.
So you mentioned rate hikes there. Do you think this Jackson Hole summit could reveal any details regarding central banks' plans regarding rate hikes going forward, or are we certain not to really see any?
I think they're going to, Yellen and Draghi are both going to shy away from mentioning anything about rate hikes. Yellen may be pressed if there's a press conference about what she feels, but it's all out there. It's all out in the minutes. The inflation's slow, and she needs to see more evidence. That's been the common theme for several months now. And like I said, her focus will probably be on the trimming process, trimming of the balance sheet process. And Draghi himself is just not going to talk at all about monetary policy, tapering, or interest rates.
Jim, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, and thanks for your insight.
Great, thanks for the opportunity.
And thank you for watching. And if you like this interview and would like to see more, please head over to dukascopy.tv.